Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a beautiful castle nestled in the midst of rolling hills and dense forests. In this castle lived a young girl named Isabella with her grandmother, Lady Amelia. Isabella's parents had died when she was very young, and her grandmother had taken her in and raised her with utmost love and care. Isabella was a kind and gentle soul who loved to read and spend her days wandering in the lush gardens that surrounded the castle. She had never been to the city and was content living her life in the peaceful and quiet countryside. One day, while Isabella was taking a stroll in the gardens, she met a handsome young man named Alexander. Alexander was a traveler who had come to the castle seeking shelter for the night. Isabella was immediately drawn to him, and they spent hours talking and getting to know each other. They shared their dreams and aspirations, and Isabella was amazed at how much they had in common. As the sun began to set, Alexander asked Isabella if she would be his wife. Isabella was taken aback by his proposal but could not deny the spark she felt between them. She had never thought about marriage before, but with Alexander, she felt a sense of belonging she had never felt before. Lady Amelia was skeptical of the young traveler and his intentions, but Isabella's heart had already made up her mind. She agreed to marry Alexander and leave the castle to start a new life with him. The couple left the castle and traveled to the city, where they began their life together. It was a big change for Isabella, who had never been to the city before, but with Alexander by her side, she felt safe and secure. Alexander proved to be a loving and caring husband, and Isabella was happy to be married to him. They explored the city together, and Alexander introduced Isabella to new experiences, foods, and cultures. As they built a life together, Isabella never forgot her grandmother and the castle she had grown up in. She often wrote letters to Lady Amelia, updating her on their adventures and new experiences. Years went by, and Isabella and Alexander grew old together. They had children and grandchildren, and Isabella had never been happier. However, she still cherished the memories of the castle and her grandmother, and every now and then, they would visit the castle to relive those memories. Isabella had come a long way from the castle she had grown up in, but she had never forgotten where she came from. She knew that the love and care she had received from her grandmother had given her the strength to face the challenges of the world and build a life with the man she loved. anirbanchatterjee3469@gmail.com. Complete it with beautiful love ending. One day, while they were on their way to visit the castle, Alexander stopped Isabella in the middle of a lush meadow. With tears in his eyes, he got down on one knee and asked her to renew their vows. Isabella was overwhelmed with emotion as Alexander expressed his undying love for her. She knew that the years they had spent together had only strengthened their bond, and she accepted his proposal with all her heart. As they exchanged vows, the sun set behind them, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. It was a moment that they would never forget, a moment that symbolized the love they had shared for so many years. As they walked hand in hand towards the castle, Isabella realized that love had brought her so much joy and happiness. She was grateful for the chance encounter with Alexander, who had shown her that true love was worth taking a chance on. They arrived at the castle, and Lady Amelia welcomed them with open arms. She had never seen Isabella so happy, and her heart was filled with joy to see her granddaughter so in love. As they sat down to dinner, Isabella couldn't help but think about the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. She was grateful for the castle that had been her home, for her grandmother who had loved her unconditionally, and most of all, for the man who had swept her off her feet and given her a life filled with love and adventure. As they toasted to their renewed vows, Isabella knew that she had found her happily ever after, and she would cherish it for the rest of her days.